The smartest person you know is probably quiet. Think about that for a second. Not the loudest voice in the room, not the one dominating every meeting or posting every thought online. The quiet one, the one who listens more than they speak. And that raises an uncomfortable question. Are introverts actually more intelligent? Or do we just romanticize silence because it looks like depth? Let's find out. First, we need to clear something up. Introversion is not shyness. It's not social anxiety. It's not being antisocial or awkward or hating people. That's one of the biggest myths out there, and it refuses to die. Introversion is really about one thing: where you get your energy. Extroverts recharge through social interaction. They thrive in groups, they think out loud, they feed off the buzz of other people. Introverts recharge alone. They need solitude the way the rest of us need sleep. It's not a preference, it's a biological need. And that's the key word: biological. Because introversion isn't just a personality quirk, it's rooted in your brain chemistry. And this is where things get genuinely fascinating. Back in the 1960s, a psychologist named Eysenck proposed something radical. He said that introverts have a naturally higher level of cortical arousal. In plain English, their brains are more active at baseline. They don't need as much external stimulation to feel engaged because their internal world is already running hot. Extroverts, on the other hand, have lower baseline arousal, which is why they seek out excitement, novelty, and social stimulation. Their brains are literally hungry for more input. Now fast forward to modern neuroscience, and Eysenck's theory holds up remarkably well. Brain imaging studies show that introverts have more blood flow to the frontal lobes, the part of the brain responsible for planning, problem-solving, and deep thought. Extroverts show more activity in areas linked to sensory processing and reward. In other words, introverts are wired to think deeply. Extroverts are wired to act quickly. And then there's dopamine. Both introverts and extroverts have dopamine systems, obviously, but introverts are more sensitive to it. A little goes a long way. That's why a quiet evening with a book can feel deeply satisfying for an introvert, while an extrovert might need a party, a concert, or at least a lively group chat to hit that same level of satisfaction. Here's where it connects to intelligence. A study published in the Journal of Personality found that introverts tend to score higher on tasks requiring sustained attention and working memory. Angela Duckworth's research on grit, that combination of passion and perseverance, found that many of the grittiest, most disciplined thinkers display introverted traits. They don't need external validation to keep going. They're fueled by internal motivation. And working memory, the ability to hold and manipulate information in your head, is one of the strongest predictors of academic and professional success. Multiple studies have shown that introverts outperform extroverts on working memory tasks, particularly in environments free from distraction. So, introverts are smarter then? Case closed? Not quite. Because here's the twist nobody talks about. It's not that introverts are inherently more intelligent, it's that the modern world is built almost entirely for extroverts, and introverts are paying the price. Think about it. Open-plan offices where you can't think without someone tapping your shoulder. Brainstorming sessions where the loudest idea wins, not the best one. Job interviews that reward confidence and charisma over competence. Social media platforms engineered to reward those who share the most, speak the loudest, and perform their lives for an audience. We've built a world that confuses volume with value. And the data backs this up. Research from organizational psychology consistently shows that group brainstorming produces fewer and lower quality ideas than individuals working alone. Yet every company still does it. Why? Because it feels productive, it looks collaborative, but it's optimized for extroverts, not for results. Remote work changed things briefly. During the pandemic, introverts thrived. Suddenly, deep focus was possible. You didn't have to perform energy you didn't have. You could think, create, and contribute on your own terms. And then, slowly, the return to office mandates started creeping back. The hustle culture influences came back louder than ever. Rise and grind. Network or die. Be visible or be forgotten.
But here's what's ironic.
We're living through a loneliness epidemic. Social media has made us more connected and more isolated at the same time. Everyone is performing extroversion online, sharing, posting, commenting, while feeling increasingly empty. And introverts? They've been navigating solitude their entire lives. They know how to be alone without being lonely. That's not a weakness. That's a superpower most people don't even know they need. The introverts who changed the world didn't do it by being loud. Isaac Newton worked in isolation for years. Einstein called himself a passionate loner. Rosa Parks was famously quiet. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, J.K. Rowling, all introverts. They didn't succeed despite their introversion, they succeeded because of it. Because they could sit with a problem longer than anyone else. Because they didn't need applause to keep going. So, are introverts really more intelligent? Here's the honest answer. Intelligence isn't a simple scoreboard, and framing it as introvert versus extrovert misses the point entirely. What the science actually shows is that introverts and extroverts think differently. Not better or worse, but differently. Introverts excel at deep processing, sustained focus, and careful analysis. Extroverts excel at rapid decision-making, social intelligence, and adaptability. The real measure of intelligence isn't your personality type, it's self-awareness. It's knowing how your brain works and building a life around that knowledge. If you're an introvert, forcing yourself into constant social performance, you're sabotaging your own cognition. If you're an extrovert, sitting alone in a quiet room, wondering why you can't focus, same thing. True intelligence is understanding that there is no one-size-fits-all brain. It's creating the right environment for your mind to do its best work. It's refusing to let a world built for one type of person convince you that you're broken. The quietest people in the room aren't always the smartest. But the smartest people in the room almost always know when to be quiet. And maybe that's the point.